This is lecture 3 of module 2, that is quality of water. A wholesome water. What is meant by wholesome water? That is absolutely pure water is never found in nature. And this pure water is that water which contains only 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen by volume. But the water found in nature contains a number of impurities in varying amounts. And the rainwater, which is originally pure, also absorbs various gases, dust and other impurities while falling. This water, when moves on the ground, further carries silt, organic and inorganic impurities. Therefore, the runoff water has large number of impurities, and this water, before supplying to the public, should be treated and purified. Wholesome water is that water which is not chemically pure. Okay. Wholesome water is that water which is not chemically pure but does not contain anything harmful to human health. Then next, the requirements of wholesome water. This wholesome water, it is also called potable water. P-O-T-A-B-L-E. Potable means drinking. Kudikkan kollavunnalla vellam. Requirements of wholesome water. 1. It should be free from bacteria which may cause disease. It should be colorless and sparkling, which may be accepted by the public. It should be tasty, odor-free and cool. It should not corrode pipes. It should be free from all objectionable matter, and it should have dissolved oxygen and free carbonic acid so that it may remain fresh. These are the requirements of wholesome water. It should be free from bacteria, it should be colorless and sparkling, then it should be tasty, odor-free and cool, it should not corrode pipes, and it should be free from all objectionable matter, and it should have high dissolved oxygen content and free carbonic acid so that it may remain fresh. Next, impurities present in water. And the impurities present in water are classified as suspended impurities, colloidal impurities and dissolved impurities. 3 types of impurities: suspended, colloidal and dissolved impurities. First one, suspended impurities. And these impurities are dispersion of solid particles that are large enough to be removed by filtration or settling. The particles which are lighter than water float on the surface and heavier one settles down. The suspended particles which have the same specific gravity as that of water are mixed in the water. Suspended impurities include clay, algae, fungi, organic and inorganic matters and mineral matters, etc. And these all impurities are macroscopic and cause turbidity in the water. The concentration of suspended matter in water is measured by its turbidity. Next, colloidal impurities is very finely divided dispersion of particles in water, and these particles are so small that these cannot be removed by ordinary filters and are not visible to the naked eye. All the colloidal particles are electrically charged and remain in continuous motion. The electric charge is due to the presence of absorbed ions on the surface of the solid. And most of the color of water is due to the presence of colloidal impurities. And the size of the colloidal particles is between 1 micron to 1 millimicron, or 10 raised to minus 3 mm to 10 raised to minus 6 mm. Next, dissolved impurities. Some impurities are dissolved in water when it moves over rocks, soil, etc. Solids, liquids and gases are dissolved in natural water. And these dissolved impurities may contain organic compounds, inorganic salts and gases, etc. The concentration of total dissolved solids is usually expressed in ppm or milligram per liter and is obtained by weighing the residue after evaporation of the water sample from a filtered sample. Next, reasons for the analysis of water. 1. To ascertain if the supplies maintain the required degree of purity and to find out the extent of any variations which occur. And second, to ascertain the effect of heavy rainfalls or of long continued drought on river water. Third, to ascertain the quality of the proposed supply to the new consumers. Then, to decide that the water obtained from some additional source or sources of supply will be pure, wholesome, not too hard and free from the risk of any pollution. Then to decide the suitability of water for feeding boilers, hot water pipes, etc. Then to examine the effect of pumping on well water, especially when wells are situated near the sea or an estuary. To find out the organisms responsible for the spreading of the waterborne diseases, then to identify the organisms responsible for developing certain effect on water with respect to color, odor, taste, etc. To study the process of self-purification of streams and rivers. To know the characteristics of water at various depths of deep wells and tube wells.